Hello, hello, hello. So it's going to be a little quickie pop-up live. Little quickie pop-up live here from the afternoon of the west coast of Northern California, wherever you are in this wide, wide world that we live in. This one is in particular for those of you who have trouble with boundaries, or have trouble saying no, or find yourself in that space of like, but what is my boundary? Or am I a yes or am I a no? Or how do I tell? So there's a lot of ways to look at this. This is one, but this is absolutely one of those, like, I don't even like the term life hack, but this is a total life hack. Can be used pretty much with anyone, pretty much anywhere, pretty much in any circumstance. And these are the 3 words that will change your life. Are you ready? I don't know. Now, I do want to say that I know that most of us are sort of acculturated to I don't know being a bad thing, or that somehow there's a part of our mind, body, being that jumps to like, but I should know. And this is why it's so valuable just to practice. You could even do it right now. Just like say it with me. I don't know. I don't know. You can add a yet. I don't know yet. You can add right now. I don't know right now. You can add let me get back to you. I don't know. Let me get back to you. Ask me again tomorrow. I don't know right now. Will you ask me again tomorrow? And you can also just use these 3 words. I don't know. I don't know. Do you want to go to the beach right now? I don't know. Can I have ice cream? I don't know. Are you going on a bike ride? I don't know. And the beauty of I don't know is that, and this is why I say this is one of these practices that is essential. I actually think it's like one of the really important bridge practices for people who are like, oh, it is such a hard time saying no, or I'm not even, somebody asked me something and I don't know. And I want to learn to know better whether I'm a yes or a no. And I am all for that. I've talked about that a lot in the past. I teach that. So there's all kinds of practices for learning to understand better, your own yes and your own no. Thanks, love. So I'm live right now. Can you give me 5 minutes? Yeah. My daughter has a drawing. So this is the beauty, though. It's like in that people can go from this place of not necessarily being able to tell what is a yes and what is a no, and they want to jump all the way to just knowing in every moment, right away, on the dot. I want that. And so they miss this whole beautiful area of the growth practice. Not right now, my love. I will be out in 5 minutes. Not right now, my love. I will be out in 5 minutes. This whole beautiful growth area of learning that practice. And in the practice of learning, using your I don't know is invaluable. And so there will be, guaranteed, there are those moments somebody asks you a question, they ask you to do something, they ask you whatever it is, and you just know. You're like, yes, yes, yes. But I would also say that actually this practice is really valuable for people who find that they feel like a yes in the moment, and they're like, no, but I felt like it was a yes. And then, I walked away and 10 minutes later, I wasn't sure anymore, or I was a no, or they're like, I changed my mind, and is that okay? And do I have to keep my commitment and all these things? That actually for anybody who finds themselves in those kind of scenarios, or who tends to feel their yes really strongly, actually it can still be an incredible practice to just anytime anybody says something, you just say, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I'll get back to you. I don't know right now. I'll let you know tomorrow, or will you check in with me in a week, or these just or even just I don't know. And what that often does is there's just a time component. So it literally buys time. And this is why I say it's a life hack. And I don't know, like, again, I actually like that whole term kind of makes me recoil. So I think this is a tool, and it's just things happen so fast, so much of the time, that something to give us time is really valuable. I can hear like somebody over here is saying like, but can't you just take the time? Like, why do you have to say, I don't know? I don't know, but it helps. All I know is that it helps. It really helps to have something instead of just like waiting and going like, oh my God, I'm supposed to come up with some sort of response. And it's actually, I mean, the thing is, it's not a lie. We'll think like, oh, but what if you really want to say no, isn't it a lie to say, I don't know? What I think is that for the most part, 99% of the time, it's not a lie, because if we're ever, have that moment where it feels fast and like we have to come up with a response, and there's a little bit of either a freeze or a flight or a like any of that actually in that moment, we truly don't know. Am I a yes or am I a no? Now there are some, what is the word I'm looking for? There are some actual moments where like it's just like a full body no. And the truth of the I don't know is like, I don't know how to say no yet. And of course, there are actually some people you can say that to, like, oh, I'm having like a full body no. Oh, when you ask me to do that, I want to vomit, but I don't know how to say no yet. But most of the time, if like it feels at all like a freeze or a flight, but it is a no, then there's something that's like, I don't know how to say no to this in the way that I want to. And that could be, it's somebody I really care about is asking me for something, and I want to be able to say yes, but I can't right now. Or I'm a yes to the thing, but I'm not a yes to the time frame. Or, I mean, there's just so many iterations of this. And so I don't know gives us even sometimes, even just in that conversation, right? Just not having to come up with like yes or no, which is so binary. It's so fucking binary. Like even the whole teaching of like, if you're not a hell yes, you're a hell no. It's just so binary. Life doesn't work like that. Most of the time we're like, not sure about exactly that. And I feel some yes and I feel some no, and I need time to tease it out. And so sometimes even just like saying, oh, I don't know, just lets us breathe in the moment. And then we're like, oh, I just realized what is actually true for me. I realized that I want to do that thing, but I don't want to do it tomorrow. Or I want to do that thing, but not with you. Or I want to say yes to you, but I don't want to do that thing. Or this is how I can be a yes. Or, oh, actually, I just realized that I'm a no. And it's just been, I spent 43 years afraid to say no to anybody that I love. And so I just didn't know how to say that. So I just, and the I don't know just gives us a time to exhale and find what's true. Oh, Erin, he just said happy birthday. Thank you. Okay, yeah, today's my birthday. And I'm 43. That's why I said 43 years. And sometimes we need more time than that. It is absolutely true that we can find our truth, the true response, or how we want to respond, or the negotiation, or the teasing apart, or the pieces of it. Sometimes in the moment, if we just say, I don't know, when the initial invitation or request or whatever it is comes towards us, like that, a lot of times the truth is actually, I don't know. Even if we know 2 seconds later, 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, in that exact moment, it's actually very often true to say, I don't know. Thank you, my love. And so this is actually a practice in honesty. We can say it's sort of like a tip or a trick or a life hack, and it's buying you time. And the fact is, it's actually a practice in honesty to say, oh, I don't know. And then often we actually do need a day or a couple of days or a week to go, oh, the truth is like, I don't know. And I need time to sit with that. And sometimes what we need is just to sit with it ourselves and discover what is true for us. And sometimes we need to go ask a friend this thing that, I got asked to do this, or somebody wants this, and this is like, and just blah, 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 this is everything about it. And this is where I'm a yes, and this is where I know, and this is what I think, and this is what I feel. And then our friend can say like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Or I'm in a group where somebody recently said, I know this woman, I really like her. We've engaged in this way in the past. And then she recently sent me this text with this invitation and was flat out saying, how do I say no nicely to this person? And so sometimes we know we want to say no, but the I don't know is I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't know how to say it and be friendly. I don't know how to say it and, like, or what are the pieces of this in this request that came up in the group I'm in? It sort of crossed like friendship and business lines. And so she was like, how do I, and somebody gave this great response of like, oh, I'd love to catch up as friends. And this other thing you're asking for is actually something I charge for. And if you would like to hire me for that, I would be happy to put time on my calendar. And just like being able, and this person who asked the question just needed time. And then a little reflection. She was like, oh, that's exactly it, right? It's not that hard. I used to have this, it's important for me sometimes when people are saying like, hey, what about this date? Or what about that date? Or like, can you have the kids on this day? Or, what's like I want to make some plans at this time. And I just took on, it wasn't so much, I don't know, or very simply just those 3 words, but I'd be like, I always get into trouble when I say yes to anything with dates if I'm not looking at my calendar. So could you send me that in an email? Because I actually want to be looking at everything when I give my response. And I had some people in my life who were like, yeah, totally. But I just want to check, da, 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 da. And I'd be like, yeah, totally. And I just, I just really know that I have to be looking at like the whole calendar because I just always fuck something up if I'm not doing that. So would you just send it to me in an email and I promise I'll get back to you tomorrow, So these things, but I want to say the simplest, and this is why I say 3 words that will change your life. The very, very simplest is simply to say, I don't know. Do you want to go camping next weekend? I don't know. And they'll probably come back with something, right? They'll be like, well, when do you think you'll know why? And then you can say, I think I just need to sleep on it tonight, or I need to look at my calendar, or can I get back to you next week, or these kind of things. And so and I actually, even if it seems silly to you, and it might not, but I actually highly recommend just saying it to yourself in the mirror so that you get it, like these words can just come out of your mouth. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know right now. I don't know. Let me get back to you. I'm not sure. And then when somebody asks you something, and I actually encourage people, like if you have any, even if you think your response, if you tend to fall on that side of like, I have trouble with boundaries, I have trouble saying no, I tend to say yes and then change my mind a lot. I have a hard time distinguishing between my yes and my no, or like I want to, like I actually would say even for just a week, like literally anytime anybody asks you something, just say, I don't know. And then find out what happens. Because you can literally, so my son used to do this, but he used to, he used to say no. I mean, you could say, like my son would be 2 years old, or maybe he was a little older at that time, but like 3 years old maybe. And he'd say like, hey, do you want ice cream? And he'd say, no, I mean, yes. And he had it as like, he just had to put his no first, and that gave him space to come forward. He's a Taurus, born in the year of the bull. Like he's just got some, he needs to know, like, I get to walk forward into my yes. So I actually said that to him one time. Do you want ice cream? And he's, no, I mean, yes. And so you can literally say like, I don't know. And then in your next breath, you can say, oh, actually, I do know, and then just move on from there, or see what their response is, or take a day. Like, and sometimes, again, there's actually this time to tease out what would make this a yes, or what parts of this are a no, or how do we, and just saying, like, we don't have to I think we get in this thing of like, oh my God, I have to know all the pieces right away, and I can't say anything until I know everything. And so then we start like dissecting the thing, and it can turn into like a whole thing rather than just like, I don't know yet. Let me get back to you on that. So easy. Easy? I don't know if it's always easy. So simple. Actually so clean, right? It's not like, oh, I'm going to give a partial yes, or I'm going to say probably, or I'm going to say no in case and then maybe become a yes, or I'm just going to say yes to things and then change my mind. Like, it's actually so clean, and it's frankly so honest, because the majority of us actually don't know on a dime, like when somebody snaps their fingers and asks us a question, the answer right away. Every once in a while, we're very, very clear, but often it takes a moment, and the compulsion or the obligation or the cultural norm of like, you should know, or it's a yes or a no, or what's your yes and what's your no, in this speedy sort of way is just actually not true to our experience. So it's a practice in honesty. I don't know. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for the happy birthday. I've had a wonderful, wonderful, more of like a pre-birthday, honestly. And then today has also been quite lovely. And lovely to see you here, Emily. I fucking love you too. So I hope this changes your life like I promised. And I'm sending you all so much love. Ciao.